Swamp Thing sucks.
The
movie. This movie's terrible.
The movie that spawned a sequel, a TV show, and a cartoon.
Oh my god, the movie has fucking Heather Locklear in it. That'll tell you what generation it's from.
Yeah.
Then again, this one has Adrienne Barbeau, so...
Yeah. She's the best part of this movie, I guess. I don't know.
She's the only one who's kind of, like, acting.
I don't know. Like, there's a lot of good parts, but it doesn't come together in any way, shape, or form.
No, this movie feels like three separate movies.
Yes.
The movie has the weirdest pacing and plot.
Oh, the middle of this movie can fuck right off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it weird? I think it's just kind of like really simple. But then like,
oh, the movie's got no plot. It has the audacity to stick around for 90 minutes.
Oh, it's meandering.
Yeah. Before we get hi, I'm Connor McGraw. I'm Arlen Patty Spivot. Hunter P. Spivot Davenport.
Howdy.
And we're Spivot Gonzalez.
I am the abdominal snowman.
And he is Patty.
The abominable.
Patty Spivot.
That made me so mad.
I was watching with subtitles, so it was extra hilarious to read that line.
Wait, what?
When he says it must be sort of abdominal snowman, I was like, oh, you did not earn this.
No, he says abdominal, like you're working out your abdomen.
Yeah. The Bruno character who
turns into a weird midget monster?
Yes. Well, he turns into
a awesome man,
I think. But I don't know. Like, ugh.
And like I was telling Arlen, I owned the toys for this movie when I was a child.
Yeah, I had it on VHS. I watched it all the time, but for some reason, like, I couldn't remember anything past halfway point. Because I watched as a kid and probably got really fucking bored.
So you don't remember when a man turns...
I don't know what the fuck happened in this movie. Like, he turned into like a scaly... It was like Gilman, but if he had like a fucking... like... the head from the werewolf from Bad Moon or something. Like, I don't know what the fuck that is.
It's like a really...
And why do you have a sword?
Because there was a sword on the wall, I guess. But still.
Because they looked at a picture of a Swamp Thing comic and they saw Arcane had a sword. That's the only reason.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he had a sword.
Even a Swamp Thing villain, like, for real?
Yes, he is the Swamp Thing villain.
He's the Joker. He's like
this Arcane is not the Arcane that exists.
No, usually he's like a zombie. Like, that's his most common thing.
When this movie came out, though, it isn't the Swamp Thing that exists now. Because this movie came out before the old Scottish wizard made Swamp Thing awesome.
Right. Yeah.
Before
Swamp Thing now is more of a thing with the green, right? It's not really...
Yes. Well, okay. And even before that, so that's like real recent. What was changed, and I can't remember when it was written, it was like in the 85 or 87. He went real sciencey with it. And there's like an actual worm that like, the scientists found out that like if you teach this worm like a maze and then cut it in half, and you know how like worms, like it'll just become two things. Each of the halves will remember what the first worm learned. And it was this whole science thing, and then like he was kind of made up of these worms. It was really weird. So that he wasn't actually Alec Holland, he was the thing that these creatures came with. I know, this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
you lost me.
I know, it's Alan Moore, so like it's hard to explain without being like, here's like a 50-page explanation.
I even Googled Swamp Thing Arcane, and like no two things are the same here.
No,
one of them he's holding some woman's decapitated head, and it just says, "I give you Abigail Arcane," and he looks like fucking he's been stitched back together.
Yes, well, that's the other main character that Barbeau is not, but kind of is supposed to be.
It's really weird. So, like,
Cable doesn't exist.
They give Holland a sister, which is not a thing.
No. In the books, it's his wife.
Right. I didn't even know he had a wife in the book. So, like,
it's him and his wife, and they both explode.
Yeah, and that's I mean, we don't have to get to it now, but they mention a wife, which confused me, as we all discussed in the chats. So, yeah.
I didn't even hear anything about his wife yet.
No, what it was Barbeau's character misinterpreted that they were husband and wife because they were both Dr. Holland.
Okay.
So it's a Three's Company type of misunderstanding.
But yeah, and most modern, like Lou said, most modern versions, Arcane is basically like a zombie. Like he looks like a very muscular zombie. That's the best way to describe it.
So this movie interpreted him as a French dandy who like I don't know what his motivations are.
I don't know.
Immortality?
World domination,
for some reason.
I guess.
I don't know what people were working on in this facility in the swamp. I don't know what anybody was there for. I'm not sure
government?
why his cover character was such a fucking an angry prick to everybody, and even I have to scream everything at everyone because I'm so upset.
Mm-hmm.
I have to bring this up because I can't get over it. What was with the snake? What were they?
Dude, I don't understand. I don't understand any of his faux guerrilla fighters.
Yeah.
I mean, not John Rambo.
Like they're the worst private army I've ever seen.
They really are.
I love the guy that's his design is like a complete ripoff of Rambo.
Oh, that's
with the red bandana.
Ferret, and he's played by oh shit, hang on. He is
What's
played
it, like,
by
I had his name up here. So
I am installing
he's the head goon who dies in a way that makes no sense.
I don't even know what happened to him.
Gets his head squished off screen, kind of.
But then he's laying there and his throat's slashed.
Well, there was a lot of
blood.
There's a lot of bad editing in this movie. Like,
okay, so he's played by
bad.
David Hess, and I knew him from somewhere. And David Hess actually, he doesn't do much acting now. He apparently helped work on the soundtrack for Hateful Eight. But he was one of the villains in Last House on the Left, the original one. He was the fucking bad guy.
Oh, the weird. Okay,
he is Krug Stillo in Last House on the Left. He is the guy. He is the leader of the evil trio.
Yeah, that movie.
Yeah, don't watch Last House on the Left unless you really want to fuck up your day, everybody.
Yeah, if you really want to have a bad time, watch Last House.
Either version. Don't watch the remake either, because the remake is just as unpleasant. Except the daughter does not die in the remake. In the original, she does. Anyway, that's cool. I can yawn away from the mic now. Oh, actually, I can do lots of things away from the mic because I'm not tethered to it anymore.
We're doing prop comedy now.
Isn't this wonderful?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the premise of this movie is that Ray Wise faked his death in the Twin Peaks universe, and he moved to the swamp to work on some ambiguously glowing green goo. And his sister's there too, I guess. And then Adrienne Barbeau shows up to do
beacon
nothing.
Repair, I guess.
And her predecessor was attacked by an alligator.
Right.
Yeah, this movie's got no fucking plot.
Yeah, no.
Within 10 minutes of us trying to understand these characters and motivations, like the villain fucking shows up. He's been wearing a face mask.
Yeah, well, before that, this movie opens with the guerrilla troops fucking snake biting a guy.
Yeah,
like that's the whole. What is the title cards of like some bullshit that I don't remember? But then then there's this guy that's like they hold him
running away. It's like what's his nuts from Lost World? He gets killed by the compies. Some guy like just running in the swamp, and then like these David Hess and like his group of fucking misfits like beat him up, and then David Hess pulls a snake out of his pocket,
and that is not a euphemism. He
literally a fucking poisonous snake.
Which, that's.
Then, like, he has it bite this dude in the face, and then I don't know. He just dies a few minutes later, and we never know who this guy is or what his purpose was.
He like wanders off and then falls into the swamp as Barbeau's being brought in. I was like,
yeah,
it's so confusing.
Mm-hmm.
And like the guy who brings Barbeau in, like, essentially dies off screen.
Well, he dies on screen on another screen.
Yeah, on a grainy, fucking horrifically tracked surveillance surveillance screen that's being filmed. So it's got
of
that
the swamp.
fucking of the swamp, and it's black and white. So it's got that fucking those lines going up and down when you film a screen from way back when. And you can't see anything, you can't really hear anything. And he just drops dead and face plants in the swamp. And then I don't know, fucking Arcane Badman shows up, and he literally says, "You've never seen me, and we don't know each other, but I'm Arcane."
But they mentioned his name randomly in the beginning.
Someone before that was like, "Arcane. Arcane's dead. Don't you dare talk about him ever again. Ever, ever, ever." And that guy turned out to be Arcane.
Yeah.
He's back.
Was that a sudden thing? Like, did he go somewhere and get replaced, or was he Arcane the whole time? Like,
no, he's he implies that he's been Arcane for a while.
Okay, good.
And I love that Adrienne Barbeau shows up. Everyone's like, "Why is there a woman here? Why did they send her here?"
When there's already a woman in the lab.
Yeah, with her sweet ass perm.
Oh god.
Okay, Adrienne Barbeau's perm is so concrete that even getting dunked underwater doesn't mess it up.
No.
Definitely and they dunk her in water a lot.
Oh, she spends half this movie soaking wet.
Yeah,
I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah.
I wonder why. Cut to near the end of the movie. Yeah. This is an interesting film.
So I guess let's talk about Jesus Christ. Like,
there's so much to talk about.
I know. Like how this like I don't want to hear anyone bitch about superhero movies ever again. I really don't.
This was literally top tier superhero movie when I was growing up.
I understand that.
It was a fucking turd, and like
I honestly would love to compare this to the Captain America movie and the Dolph Lundgren Punisher.
Oh fuck!
Honestly,
that's the same era. They're all
up until Batman '89. I understand if this was like on the top 5 of anybody's list. Like, I wouldn't be surprised because
this movie has a 66% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Of course it does.
What?
That's technically a passing score.
And here's the thing, like, if this movie was like very, very gruesome, like violent, like
if this was like a stupid monster movie, it'd fine. You know, it's like,
but it feels like a '40s monster movie, which would be fine if it was
complete with picking up the damsel in distress and like unconsciously carrying her from place to place and placing.
I would say
it's
80% of this movie to me was like a reel for stuntmen.
Yeah,
like this is what we can do. And I was like, oh, okay, like that fire, like when Holland goes up, I was like, that is a long stunt.
That was a long stunt, and like they set him on fire, and then like
really on fire.
I don't know what like in practicing for Nightmare. Just
in character, like this dude decides to just like he's like, everybody out of my way, move it, open this door, get out of my way, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. Runs out of the building, down some stairs, pushes people out of his way, runs to the end of a dock, and face plants into the swamp.
Well, you forget when the doorway explodes.
Yeah.
Or is it an elevator or just like a middle section where they have to put their handprint in? I can't remember.
I don't even know.
I thought it was just to that doorway to the lab.
Okay. Yeah.
But still, like, and then everything he's like randomly touching that's not a person explodes.
Yeah. It's great. This is like, there are parts of this movie that were very enjoyable. So
the awesome stunts.
Here's another question I have: why was the like gel stuff explosive?
Because it was
science. Because it was bright neon green, which means science.
It was unstable. I don't know.
There's a shot of his notebook in the beginning, and it had like some formula, but you can't really see it. And then at the end, it says H2O.
Okay. I'm not getting over this because there's another part to this. She knows it's explosive, and she puts her hand in it.
Right.
Yeah, it reminded me of the third Die Hard movie with a Vengeance when the guys like uses the paperclip.
Yeah,
it was really weird.
It's dumb. She just palms it. She's like,
again, the people who wrote this movie if Wikipedia existed, they read the first like 2 lines because the formula was a thing that existed.
Right. Yeah, and it's still a thing even in the newer books. they sort of brought it back as sort of They
like all of Holland's motivations are like the Dr. Holland character is the Dr. Holland in the comics, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. He's pretty accurate. Holland is actually probably one of the better parts of this. Like,
Which
he's very close to.
It's hilarious.
While he's in it.
Yeah.
Oh, I was looking online. Do you know why he's only in it for, I don't know, the first 15 minutes?
Well, because the Swamp Thing's played by someone else entirely.
Yeah, it was not supposed to be, though.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was supposed to be in it, but as they started filming, I was looking at IMDb at the trivia.
Fuck this.
No, they couldn't figure out how to get him to actually work in the suit because the suit was so ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah, no shit.
Okay, we need to talk about this suit. This suit needs some time spent on it because, oh my god.
I kind of forgive the suit because it's 1982.
Here's the thing.
It's
I don't
7 years
know.
before Batman. 7 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Gill Man happened in like 59, right? And the Gill Man looks.
I'm not going to forgive the last thing. The I don't even know what to call the thing at the
No, I'm
end.
just talking about the original Gill Man from the creature from the Black Lagoon.
How long from
Like-
Ninja Turtles was this made?
This is like
This is 82.
It's only a few years, I think.
this is 7 years
Yeah.
before Ninja Turtles.
Look at this suit and look at any of the Ninja Turtle suits.
Yes, but Ninja Turtles, like, they looked awesome in the
Well,
first
yeah.
two movies.
And
They also
only-
had like they were also like really advanced stuff at the time. I think
Weren't they made by Jim Henson?
They were made by
Jim.
Jim
They were made by Jim Henson, so they have like a little bit of an advantage. But like, still, I don't understand. Somebody make me understand. I guess I don't know.
I actually have. I'm looking at the IMDb. I found a photo. I think of David Hess's death uncensored. Hang on.
Oh, there's lots of deleted scenes. Like, one of the things was like they deleted like way more nudity.
I believe
a
that.
lot. Like, this movie is a combination of like a 1980s Cinemax After Dark and a stuntman reel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get the feeling that there was much more violence, and they were told to trim it back, which was a bad decision because the movie's got no teeth now at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only like the transformations are only the one is kind of like horrifying.
God,
Yeah.
I was so glad I was not eating when he fucking turned into that whatever that is.
That blob, and then he turned into the boar wolf boar.
Oh, a wereboar.
A boar.
have,
Wolf.
like,
This movie's a fucking bore. Yeah.
In fur at
A
the
bull.
same time for some reason.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, everything not covered in hair. What is that? I don't.
Okay, so
Maybe-
Turtles
maybe-
was 1990. This was 82.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. But I can understand why it looks so shitty.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But even then,
still,
but Arnold just said, like, Gilman was 20 years prior. Like,
yes, like,
Yeah.
Gilman happened way before, and Gilman holds up really well.
Yeah.
Monster Squad though wasn't that far off, and the costumes
Yeah.
in that look great.
like this looks like worse than the Frankenstein get up from the 30s.
Yes,
yes,
definitely.
It looks like it's all made of like that soft foam like that you put plants into.
he kind of
Oh, that green shit.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about.
I want to know
he
who
kind of
did
looks like
the
a
suits
shitty
for
off-brand
this.
action figure.
I almost
Yeah.
wish we had Joe here because he probably knows exactly who made the suits. Because I want to know, like, whose idea was this to make this thing that looks like
Wait, you say you wanted Joe here?
paper? Yeah, almost. I almost
he-
wish that he had been here.
I think he's gonna be real mad we did this movie with Adam.
Well, I think we've also glossed over the fact that this is a goddamn Wes Craven movie.
Right. That's the other thing. Is like, even if you go with Nightmare on Elm Street, which is the movie of his that probably most people have seen, that movie is gory as hell in some sequences. Like,
Yeah,
and
like a hand
it's not
chest
even-
pops out of a chest at one point. Like,
yeah, like the fucking fountain of blood and shit, and fucking that girl.
And this is
Yeah.
before PG-13 existed, right?
This is before PG-13, so this movie could have been an R, and I think it
Well, it
should
had-
have been.
It would have been today if it was just because of
tits.
yes,
Well,
tits.
yeah. I feel like the
I'll
modern
say-
equivalent of this would be the 2010 Wolfman, But at least that movie didn't decide to like remove all the violence.
Oh, that movie's filled with fantastic violence.
Yes, some of it is so good. Just like the Wolfman chomping on a leg, like no.
Yeah, like I think in the asylum scene towards the end, like he just bites some dude's abdomen and just rips out his kidneys or some shit like that, or his liver or something.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
He just bites a hole in his stomach and starts ripping stuff out.
In the extended cut, he like puts his claws through the back of someone's throat.
Yeah,
Pretty sick.
Yo, Wolfman,
he stops just short of taking somebody's head off.
That's not a bad movie. I think it's actually pretty cool. It's pretty good until Anthony Hopkins is like, "I'm a werewolf too." Ah!
I like that. Yeah, that's a much better movie.
They have a fucking werewolf bar mitzvah. But this fucking movie, this suit looks like garbage. It looks slightly better in the second one because they cover it in like leaves and vines.
Right.
Yeah, and I think they basically used the second suit to make the TV show.
Yeah,
probably.
Seems like it.
Which I don't remember. We were talking about before we started recording. Like, either the guy that plays Swamp Thing directed the show, or wrote it, or directed the second movie.
Something.
He got like really involved after this because he basically is his movie because it's a stuntman movie. Like, I feel like this is like the weird horror DC Comics version of like Cannonball Run.
Or like any movie Kane Hodder or Tom Savini has made.
Right.
Yes.
Or like an effects guy or like a stunt guy or a production guy. Like, besides, like, I can direct too.
This movie feels like that. It's like, oh, like this test. Like, whoever was the makeup person was fucking horrible, or the costume design.
They were either horrible or they were like outdated. Because like, let's see,
I don't even know how to describe that ending.
And Patricia Bolamet. I've never heard of these two. Let's do a little dive here. Let's see what else. Oh, one of them has only ever worked on Swamp Thing. Well, okay, and the other one only worked on Swamp Thing, and then was a casting director after that.
I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you.
I want to give one little credit to I actually like Swamp Thing's face.
Yeah, the face is all right.
The design, I think,
like, it's not hanging off of it.
It works. It's not bad. Like, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I like the nose. I guess that's mostly what it is. I like the
there are
nose.
Parts, though, where the glue has clearly.
Well, they were in. I think I read like South Carolina or Georgia or something.
So the
glue
was
probably
it's
110 degrees with like 98% humidity and all the mosquitoes on Earth.
Yeah. So like the face is like half like deflated or whatever. I can't.
And they're literally in the water for like so much of this movie.
Oh, they are. People must have had like foot fungus and like all kinds of stuff by the end of this.
Oh, this looks miserable to film.
I'm sure the set smelled disgusting.
Hey, you complain about fungus, but he saved Agent Barbeau by filling her tit with fungus.
Oh God. When he summons the chi,
he summons the chief and the dragon to heal.
The Iron Fist to heal her.
There's no like. I watched it. I was like, wait, he's not. I was like, he is legitimately just like grabbing a handful. Like he wasn't like holding them. He's just like, he's like, through this like 18 layer, like there's 8 inches of latex. I'm gonna try to grab some of this Adrian Barbeau.
Oh no! Someone from this worked on The Fly and Beetlejuice. I am angry.
Oh, what?
Oh God!
Why?
Wait, when was Beetlejuice compared to this
movie?
What year is Beetlejuice?
Oh, Beetlejuice is like 86, and so is The Fly, I think.
Oh, so then they know what not to do.
I'm sorry, Hunter.
Okay, so then this person also worked on The Howling. What? I don't understand. Someone make me understand.
They got the credit of making a Wes Craven movie, but they never told anybody which movie.
Another person worked on Beastmaster and Return of the Living Dead. How?
Beastmaster the movie or Beastmaster the TV show?
The movie. So,
Beastmaster fucking rules.
He's the only person to ever make Ferret School.
Oh, he also worked on a movie called Blackenstein. I wonder what that's about.
I don't know, but I think we should do a movie special.
I think
that'd be my pick for Monster.
No, we shouldn't do. We shouldn't do a movie special. Specifically, us. We should not.
Hey, I'm part. I count.
We are most definitely not part.
It can be you, Eric Stayor, and guest.
Can we do a double feature of Blackenstein and Blackula?
You guys can get Andy.
Yeah.
And maybe it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, but yeah, anyways, I don't understand this. If you look at this whole makeup department, some of these people went on to work on really big movies, and now I'm a little angry that the makeup is so bad.
I'm perplexed.
Yeah,
I think it says like a bunch of stuff. Like if you didn't watch it, that goes for it. Like it's Wes Craven. It's a comic book movie. It's sort of horror. It's got Adrienne Barbeau. Like.
And you can't blame like a specific person, and some of these people like they didn't work on anything before, but again, one of them also worked on Howling, so it's really offensive at that point.
Also, like this is after Wes Craven did Last House on the Left, and like I can't believe he would make something so tame.
Yeah,
He was just like that. Just traumatized him so much. He was like, I need to make something that we can all enjoy.
I feel like it was over violent, but they must have really just cut it to shit, which is sad because I think this movie would legitimately be fun if it was like super gruesome. Like if you saw Swamp Thing stick his hand into that guy's skull and just like rip it apart, like that'd be cool.
Yes, I'd be so down.
I think
I did see they made this movie for about $3 million in 1982.
Where'd that money go?
I don't understand where it went because it looks like they shot on a parking lot.
I think it went to Adrienne Barbeau.
Most likely. Yeah.
She got like a medal for being like, you're gonna make out with a plant monster. That used to be a guy who you met for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who you caught feelings for.
You're gonna make a swamp creature made of moss. Here's $3 million.
Yeah, that was the other thing. I don't understand why they like each other so much at all.
No, they have he basically, they take their swamp tour. He hits on her and tells her her tits are sweet. And then he figures out that they're...
He hits on her by telling her the guy she replaced got eaten by a fucking alligator.
Yeah.
Which he technically didn't because they reveal later he just got bit and he went to the hospital.
Yeah. But, like, people there, like, make her feel bad about it. They're like, well, the guy you replaced is at the hospital now. Don't you feel great? She's like, I literally said hi.
And she's also there saying, like, with the other guy, like, oh, the Washington's making you guys leave, and he doesn't know. And, like, that entire idea is just dropped.
Also, she keeps pointing out to people, she's like, hey, you have a sensor not working. They're like, whatever. She's like, hey, you still have a sensor not working. So they're like, whatever. She's like, hey, the beacon is fucking broken.
That guy's
like
awesome point, though. So
put on your white shirt and jump in that water.
Right. Yeah. That's
yeah. Everybody, excluding the villain, because the villain has ulterior motives, but like everybody she tells that to is like, it's fine.
Right. Yeah.
Well, like, what are they sensors for? The perimeter?
Sensors for the people that come to kill Alec eventually.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, like, are they just perimeter sensors? Because he's not working on...
They immediately fail.
Yeah, because, like, his work has nothing to do with, like, sensors. Like, when it first started, I was like, oh, they must be, like, getting some sort of information. It's like, no, they're just, like, cameras.
Yeah.
To watch.
They weren't,
like you said, do nothing.
Sweet plant.
Yeah.
I don't know why people want his work. It's completely ambiguous and no one knows what the fuck it does.
No, like maybe it does something with food, I guess. I don't know.
No, the idea of it, because when they say like nobody knows what it is, but the idea is that it'll make plants grow super strong so they could grow anywhere.
Right.
Which is why like on the ground it makes the dead solar panels.
At one point, they're like, I can't believe you're making weapons. And like, that's only because that it could explode. But it still makes no sense that it could explode. So there's no reason why she'd come to the conclusion that it's weapons.
I buy the thing of like, it's just that it's volatile. It's a volatile compound.
Yeah.
At that
he's working, it's a government lab in the middle of the Louisiana swamps.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a person who's married to someone who's a scientist that works for the government, that is where they put their labs.
Yeah, that's where they put them. It doesn't make any sense. Like doing field research and like gathering specimens, maybe you do that in a swamp, but you don't do tests and
no. You get like you send like one intern to go get their ass eaten up by mosquitoes gather some stuff. Then you bring it to a controlled environment.
You don't send your best guy
out into the middle of nowhere in Louisiana,
where he's susceptible to the wildlife, and people who want to kill him just can waltz up and do it.
Right. It makes sense.
I just want to awesomely transition to what is with the small black child?
I don't know.
Why?
Dude, I don't know, but I was getting some weird fucking like Simple Jack vibes.
Oh, no. He's definitely special. He's got some things going on. What's his name? Jude?
Yeah, Jude, which I found out at the end of the movie. I was like, Jude, what the Jude? Who
the fuck is Jude?
It's like, why is he left alone running this random gas station in the middle of nowhere?
I thought that we actually entered Twin Peaks land for a second there.
This movie is very Twin Peaks-like at times, and not in the worst kind of ways, because it lacks the charm of Twin Peaks. It just has the weirdness.
Yeah,
he has two things on his eye.
Yeah, you cut from the swamp to the gas station to Arcane's mansion, which I guess is just down the fucking road from how often he comes and goes between the swamp and his house.
Again, this is because they read the cover and then one page of a comic book.
Right. And I will give them some credit for this. Making him a French, it's not a Creole, whatever the other term is. Making him French, that's cool.
Yeah, he's not Creole, he's French.
Yeah. Well,
he's not Creole or Cajun, he's just fucking French.
Yeah. Why?
Words of any just fucking French.
And he has a cabal of rich people on call.
Yeah, he has a creepy weird rich friends.
And they're there when he has Adrian people? And they're just cool with Adrian Barbeau tied up in some weird sort of did anybody else notice how she was tied up besides me?
No.
She was tied up so that her boobs would be very prominent.
Exactly. The rope is underneath them and pushing them up.
Fucking low cut dress.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, okay, was Adrian Barbeau a thing in terms of young?
Yes.
Were they obsessed with her? Okay.
No, she was.
Oh
she
yeah,
was
yeah.
a thing.
No. Adrian Barbeau was a thing.
Okay.
Have you ever seen C-Lab? Have you guys seen C-Lab?
Doesn't have the Adrian Barbeau bot?
Yeah, well, no, yeah. There's an entire episode where the captain wants to become an Adrian Barbeau bot with double D bazookas of justice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Adrian Barbeau was a thing. Adrian Barbeau was in Creepshow as well. And I think
it's the same year. It's the exact same time.
Around the time, she was kind of I wouldn't say she's an Elvira, but she was one of those not
quite a scream queen.
Yeah, like a horror babe, basically.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought I was
She was also in Escape from New York.
Yeah, I knew she was in stuff. I just didn't know I didn't know that she was a source of attraction, I guess. I wasn't sure. I'm
trying to think of what I would compare her to today.
Well, what's
the girl from True Detective that was in Baywatch?
I know who you're talking about.
I feel like she was kind of that. She was a better actress, but
right.
She was. It's that late 70s, early 80s.
Hold up. She was Batman animated series.
Yeah, she was.
Wait, she played really?
Yeah. Yeah, she played Selena in the animated series.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this is the one movie that she will never talk about.
Apparently, she worked for the mom of the go-go dancer.
I believe it.
Oh, nice.
Hell yeah.
That kind of explains a little bit of stuff about her personality.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like she played Rizzo in Grease on stage at some point.
That makes sense.
I buy it, yeah.
Yep.
Barbeau went to star in more than 20 musicals and plays, including Women Behind Bars, The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Grease.
Anyone got any links?
So she was I guess her and Jamie Lee Curtis were sort of in the same position at that time. Then.
I mean, yeah, but Jamie Lee Curtis did Halloween, and Adrian Barbeau was someone you'd find in She Devils of the SS.
Right.
Yes.
Something of that level.
I just mean like whenever people could get them like naked or in a compromising position.
Well, Adrienne Barbeau did a lot more like B horror movies.
Right.
Which I would say it was like the queen of walking through Blockbuster or your mom and pop thing.
Holy shit.
Like, what shitty thing is this?
She was married to John Carpenter at some point.
She was.
Oh.
Carpenter left Deborah Hill for her. So, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so she's in The Fog, Escape from New York, Cannonball Run, The Thing. Wait a minute.
She's a computer voice.
Oh my god!
Yeah, she's the cheating bitch.
Swamp Thing, Creep Show, Terror in the Isles, Back to School, Open House, Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death.
She was on Fantasy Island for 5 years.
Cannibal Women in
the Avocado Jungle of Death.
That's.
Oh my god! Two Evil
Not
Eyes.
the Jungle of Death. The
Avocado Jungle of Death. Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. She had a role in Rob Zombie's Halloween. She was in Argo. She was in Death House. I don't know what the fuck that is.
She was in Demolition Man.
She was in. I wonder if she was in Zombie Island. Zombie Island is a big part of my childhood. Hunter, is it another thing for you as well?
Yeah, definitely. That movie was huge.
Yeah,
she was on Deep Space Nine. She was a voice in Angry Beavers. She was on Drew Carey. The new Batman Adventures. Let's see. The
Carnival.
Totally Spies. Carnival. Yeah. K-ville. My God, her career is fucking.
She was the voice of Sif on Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
She was in Werewolves.
Oh, she was in Werewolves?
Yes. She was in Dexter, Grey's Anatomy, General Hospital, CSI New York, Sons of Anarchy, Criminal Minds, and Revenge.
Oh man, she does a lot of voiceover work too because she was in God of War, Halo 4, Hitman.
Holy shit, she was in Arkham Asylum.
So Hunter Barbeau is one of the werecat women from that school.
Whoa, wait a minute, she's fucking Pink Eye in the Mad Max game?
Wow.
I did not know that at all.
I mean, that fits, though. That totally fits.
I'm going to play that just to listen to that.
That's the kind of casting that they would do, also.
Yeah.
Like,
she's somebody who would be like,
put in the scratches from a VHS tape into that game. So, like, yeah, I can see it.
Kind of wonder who else is in that game. But anyway, so we've talked in depth about Adrienne Barbeau. Let's talk about this fucking villain and what he turns into, and this.
What does he turn into?
Well, I was going to say before he turns into
what is
Thor creature, he's great. I kind of like.
Oh yeah, he reprises his role in the sequel.
What?
I did not know that.
Yes, he does.
That's great.
As well as everybody in the cast. Basically, everybody but Adrienne Barbeau is in the sequel.
Yeah, they just replaced her with Heather Locklear.
Of course. But yeah, like, he's great.
Oh, that's like
I
a
love
perfect...
when he's shirtless on the boat and talking to Bruno. That was pretty fun.
He reminds me of like an old soap villain.
He does.
Yes. I feel like he is what... he reminds me of like Island of Dr. Moreau.
Yeah.
Dr. Monroe. That's a totally different movie.
I know.
He's got that vibe. Like, if... Yeah. I don't know if Corman were to do an Island of Dr. Monroe, this guy would have been in it, I feel like.
Stop saying Monroe.
It's Moreau?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say Monroe because I'm an American.
Listen here, Dr. Morrow.
Listen here, Dr. Momo.
Listen here, Dr. Maury, okay? The kid is mine.
And you are not allowed to be a dolphin.
Yeah. Take that fucking ice bucket off your head. Holy shit! Okay, so Heather Locklear in the sequel plays Abby Arcane.
Oh,
okay.
Wow,
that's interesting.
Well, I was wondering if one of like
he's like 30 years younger than Louis Jordan.
Well, she's not supposed to be his daughter.
Yeah, she's supposed to be his niece. Yeah,
niece.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did he die?
In the books, he's kind of like a servant of the devil in many ways.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
he died. The actor who played this guy died in 2015.
Oh,
damn!
He was 93. and his film career. It's funny. His film career stops in 1992 as an actor, anyway. But he had been doing movies since 19. Oh my God!
I'm gonna guess the 20s,
1939.
Oh,
I know where I recognize this guy from. He's also an Octopussy, which is not a good film.
I don't know if we can call that a film, technically.
Let's run through his. I'm going to run through his IMDb real quick. To Die in Paris sounds like a knockoff James Bond film. Ritual of Evil, the FBI, Count of Monte Cristo.
He's playing an Indian.
Oh, really?
Count Dracula. Arlen Columbo.
Oh.
He's definitely a villain of the week.
Actually.
He was also in a Scooby-Doo entry.
Of course he was.
Well, who wasn't?
He was in the TV show Vegas in 1980 and 81, Swamp Thing, Octopussy, Beverly Hills Madam, and then after that, it's after Swamp Thing, he was only in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 more films. That was it. And Ray Wise is still working.
No, yes, he was in the return of Psych. He reprised his role, which he was hilarious in that show.
I didn't know he was in Psych.
He's in a lot of Psych. He's in 10 or 15 episodes.
Oh, shit.
He's a priest that they know, and then when they do their Twin Peaks episode, he does a version of his character in that episode.
Does he go, find Laura, and then just disappears from the show?
Yeah, he sends them to the town. And then
God.
what's her name that plays Laura is who dies in the show.
Wrapped in plastic.
She's dead.
Right.
Wrapped in plastic.
So good.
So this guy's character. I know we're not talking about the plot of this movie too much, but there really isn't one.
No.
The plot of this movie is that Ray Wise is developing some kind of ambiguous formula, and then goons steal it. They don't get one of his notebooks that Adrienne Barbeau has. Then and then they chase her through the swamp for 40 fucking minutes.
6 times.
Yeah. They chase her, then they lose her, then they chase her again, and then they lose her.
Every time her
keeps showing up.
What it is, every time her shirt gets dry, they chase her to the swamp.
God damn it.
And then, at some point, they Swamp Thing gets his fucking arm cut off. I know this doesn't sound like a plot beat, but it is.
And then he gets
it's by fake Rambo with a machete.
Yeah, and then he gives fake Rambo a noogie and kills him. And then they both get captured.
Well, no, before that, they make out for a second.
Yeah, they do. And we see
they're laying in the sun. He gives her a flower, and she's like, bleh! And then
we see Barbeau's tits. Everybody's favorite thing.
Because that had to happen.
Right.
Simple young black child gets attacked and shows up bloody at some point.
I thought he was dead at first.
I thought he was slumped over in a boat. He was definitely supposed to be dead. And they're like, nah, this is little.
Yeah,
this
you
is
can't kill
racist.
You can't kill the derpy kid from the South, okay?
Yeah, you can't kill the young child who's derpy in Louisiana in the 1980s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so they both eventually get captured, and then, I don't know, fucking Arcane gets the formula. He gives it to one of his men, who then turns into, a possum man?
Possum, boar, wolf, something. I don't know.
No, not Arcane. His buddy, who's a really big dude, turns into a dwarf.
Who we don't know what happens to him.
Design, right?
He just runs away.
That is an unmen design. There are some unmen that look like that.
He's an unmen design, but he turns into a dwarf creature that then decides to help them.
Fucking Willow for.
Yeah. I would not be surprised if it was what's his name from Willow that did this for 5 seconds.
I did see a name, and it wasn't like Warwick, because Warwick Davis didn't start movies till Return. So
because he's the kid in Return.
Yeah. Tommy Madden is the name of Little Bruno, which is how he's credited in the movie.
I would bet $1 million that he's in Willow, though.
He might be. He probably is, because there's a very limited number.
There's also a whole village of people in that movie.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay, this guy was in the Muppet movie.
I can't believe goddamn George Lucas was like, hey, listen, let's get every little person actor in Hollywood and put them in one movie. What a fucking asshole.
Well, that's just that. It's like, well, we're going to get them, but we don't want to see them, so we're going to make them teddy bears.
Yeah.
With spears.
This guy was not in Willow, but he's got a very long list. He was in the 86 Twilight Zone. He was in Elsewhere. Yeah.
As a character named Half Nelson.
That's the greatest name.
That's so good.
Is his older brother Full Nelson?
He was in
I guarantee
as a character named 3-Pack, which just let that sink in.
Real quick. Let's go through his IMDb and find the names he plays that point to him being short. I got one right at the top. Cherub, short guy. Giggy Wig. What the fuck? Pee-wee.
He's credited as One-Eyed Midget multiple times, which is
feature number 1.
Those
Charles,
first two are names that Vince McMahon would love to name a character.
I know. 3-Pack, Little Bruno, Half Nelson. I'm sorry. The character's name was Buster Caldwell. The episode was called Half Nelson. I'm sorry to disappoint everybody.
Half Nelson is like the perfect 1993 WWE name.
Yeah. The Taz. Chicken. Thomas. The Midget. And Willoughby.
Yeah.
But back to the
plot.
Swamp Thing, yeah, and Adrian Barbeau get caught, and Arcane has this weird fucking
dungeon,
a dinner for schmucks esque party where all these fucking rich weirdos show up, and then he makes his friend drink the serum, and he turns into an opossum man.
Yeah.
And then he just runs off
there at the table, by the way.
Yeah. And then he takes it and he just goes and sits upstairs by himself. Yeah. And his transformation is extended and really violent and includes multiple phases.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is after he talks to Holland and says well, why did it turn him into this little possum boy? And who says it turns whatever you are into what you truly are.
Yeah, so it's fucking Doom now, the movie.
Right. Yeah. That's not uninteresting, I guess. It kind of gives an explanation to whatever dude turns into, but at the same time it gives
At the same time, what did he turn into?
I don't know.
So let's walk into his transformation. So he takes the serum and it takes a lot longer to hit him than everybody else, it seems.
Yeah.
Because he has to go sit in his room and ponder. And then while he's doing this, his hands turn a pale purple and start to bleed green shit.
Uh-huh.
They start to come together, his fingers fuse.
Yeah. Well, his fist starts to glow, and I was like, "Oh, does he have the Iron Fist? I don't know. Does everybody have?"
He's I'm Arcane, the immortal weapon.
But yeah, that's how his transformation starts.
So then, he and it pans to his head, and he has this fucking crust over his eyes and head, and his hair's falling out.
Yeah.
And then he stands up, and he is fucking Grimace. He's covered in purple. He's a purple blob thing. And then he hatches from the blob thing. And the first thing I see is this wacky werewolf face pop out of the top. And I'm like, he turned into a wolf? No, never mind. His body is scaly?
I don't know.
And he has a fucking mane that goes down his back.
Like a lion or a boar.
Lion or a boar or a fucking gremlin or something.
Right.
He looks.
That's the best way I can describe him as is a 6-foot gremlin.
Yeah.
He has 80s metal hair that
goes. He really does.
That goes
that connects to his chest.
That goes all the way down to his ass crack.
Well, in the back and in the front, it goes all the way down to his crotch, and then his scales look like fish armor. It looks like armor,
it looks
mini
like fish
armor.
Scales.
Right.
And then he gets Excalibur off of the wall.
God damn you made the joke before I could. He transforms and just starts smashing shit in his office because in back then when you turn to a monster, you just indiscriminately smash things.
Right. My
favorite moment from Rawhead Rex when we watched it from the dumpster is at some point Rawhead attacks some old woman in her house before he does it, he spends this weird amount of time in her kitchen just, like, smashing bags of flour, like, ruining her shelves, like, tipping barrels over. I'm like, what are you doing? She's upstairs.
Yeah, like, so did it make him mindless?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, because he decides to pick up a fucking sword.
Well, the thing is, if he was he'd be
not.
the only one that was mindless, because the other two aren't mindless.
No. Alec is like, he's like a baby.
He's Alec.
Like he has to remember things, it seems, very slowly. Like, some
Also,
of the best moments are just him alone in the forest roaring, like,
But he does get to punch a lot of vehicles.
yes, he does.
Buggy fight.
Yes, when a boat tries to just hit him head on, and in slow motion, these two guys are knocked out of the boat.
Oh my god, I love that. That's my favorite scene of the movie.
And they're like, and you hear them slowly saying,
"Oh shit!" They say "oh shit" for 5 minutes.
Yeah, oh shit!
I believe
I couldn't.
it's also in
handle it.
one of the machine, like when the car punches, you hear the Wilhelm scream.
Oh yeah, totally. So then, like, Swamp Thing and Adrian Barbeau escape, and Arcane chases them in his fucking wolf boar form. And they get to, like, he has a fucking secret labyrinth under his house.
Yes.
Well, he's like a level 47 wolf boar.
Right.
Yeah, complete the dungeon. And so, like, they go to escape, and there's, like, this whirlpool or something in that down there.
Like next to the swamp.
And Midget Man goes, "This is the well underneath Arcane's house. It leads out to the swamp."
This is the well.
So they just jump into it, and apparently it just whisks them out into the swamp.
Yes, because that's how wells work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about Swamp Thing. I'm not worried about Swamp Thing, but, like, the risk of drowning is pretty high for Adrian Barbeau.
Also, was anybody else disappointed that we started this movie with discussions about alligators biting people?
Right.
And we're in Louisiana this entire time.
Alligator.
But there's not a single alligator.
I feel like maybe it's the second movie. I had a memory of Swamp Thing fighting an alligator, so it's either the second movie or the TV show.
That's still not as good as the zombie fighting the shark in Lucio Fulci's Zombie.
Oh,
Right.
Well, that's like way better.
We've all seen that, haven't we? At least that clip. Okay.
Everybody has seen that clip.
My memory, though, is that it's like very Star Trek-esque, his fight with, I think it was on the TV show, his fight with an alligator. Where he's dropping like an elbow on it and stuff. Like, it's very happy.
The fucking...
I do have to say, I think in my memory, I mixed up the first one and the second one a lot.
That's forgivable.
I feel like there's designs in the monsters in the second one that are way better.
I mean, I pulled a clip up and put it in the main chat of Swamp Thing fighting, like, some fucking big-headed thing.
Does it have like an elephant face?
No, it looks like a fucking alien from X-Files, and it keeps going, "Eee!"
Wow. I feel like there's a lot in common with this movie and The Guyver, but The Guyver is much better.
Oh, The Guyver rules. And actually, surprisingly, there is a lot in common.
Yeah.
It's actually, like, all three of these movies, those two movies and Turtles 2, for some reason, all kind of click on the same level with me.
Well, they're all around the same-ish. Turtles is like, what, 88?
No, yeah, Turtles is 1990.
The first one?
Yep. And then Turtles 2 was 92, I think, or something like that. Or 90, maybe even 91. I don't know. Turtles 2 is bad, everybody. It's really bad.
Well, because they took out all the violence of Turtles 1.
Well, it took out all the violence.
If you don't watch 3. 3 is really, like...
I've only seen 3 once, and I'm never going back.
I have, like, a small story.
Really?
I saw 3 6 months before it came out.
Oh, man.
Somehow, I knew somebody whose dad, I was a little kid, obviously, whose dad
Why
was
did you not kill someone?
His dad was a producer. The movie had a completely different title, and he let us watch it because he wanted to see what we thought, and we both were like, why do they look so much worse? Because they had completely different costumes.
They have, like, fucking visible liver spots and shit.
Yeah, well, because they didn't accidentally. They didn't think they were going to make a third one, and they tossed the other costumes.
Oh my god. But no, I mentioned Turtles 2 because, like, it also it lacks any teeth whatsoever, and, like, it's not just the violence, but, like, any heaviness or seriousness from the first one is completely sucked out.
Yeah, because they don't follow the comic at all. Like, the first one, actually very well follows the comic book.
The first one has scenes lifted directly from a comic that I own that I'm looking at right now.
And the tone is very balanced.
The tone is balanced. It's funny and dark. Like there's some serious shit going on there with Danny and his dad.
Isn't Raphael like in a coma?
Yeah,
and that happens
for like half that movie.
That happens to Leonardo in the book that I have. They pulled a lot of scenes from. Leonardo goes out on Christmas Eve just for a walk, and he's attacked by the Foot all fucking night. Like, he turns a corner, there's two more, he takes them out. Someone stabs him in the shell, I think, or in the neck with a scythe, and just rips it out and fucking murders them.
That's
I don't know.
Daredevil season 1 shit.
They get him in the like the meat between his shell and his neck, and he just pulls it out and gives him a look of death. And it culminates with him chasing them down to like a junkyard where the Shredder shows up. At this point, the Shredder's been dead for a long time, so he's like, what the fuck? And then he balls up 2 chains on his fists and goes to fight him one-on-one. And then it cuts to everybody back in the apartment, and Leo gets tossed to the window, and then he stays in the bathtub in a coma for a while. And actually, he doesn't even get to a coma. He recovers fairly quickly, but they say he's never the same.
No, he's broken.
Yeah. Well, all of them get broken. And in the movie, they actually spend about a quarter of the time that the book does with how they're recovering. But that movie actually, I think, lifts verbatim the exchange between Donatello and Casey Jones when they're repairing the truck.
It's really
I believe so.
Down to them even like having to alternate letters for the insults, like they're going alphabetically. That movie's very faithful. This movie and Turtles 2, and actually even Guyver to an extent, aren't that faithful. Guyver is way more entertaining, though.
I'll give Turtles 2 the credit of, like, at least the sound design is good because, oh my.
Like Turtles 2 is like, I like the first, like, after watching the first one, like, for the show, I realized, okay, this one's a little bit better than the others. But, like, Turtles 2 could have been, like, so much better because they didn't even have the balls to do Bebop Rocksteady. Yeah. Right. They have the balls to do that.
Doesn't have they literally told them you cannot let them use weapons. So they don't really use their weapons in the second movie.
No.
Yeah. But they
pull them out and use them for stupid shit. Like, I think the most
Turtles 2 is a toy commercial.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah,
there's a lot of
Michelangelo beats people with hot dogs. Like, yeah.
And you're like, I'm Connor, we're the same age. Like, we were the target audience, and like, I had all the turtle shit.
Oh my god, me too. And at some point, my mom was like half my collection disappeared. And I was what happened to my turtles? And she's like, I don't know. They're gone.
Garbage. They got given to a cousin.
I think you left them on the back of the moving truck.
They were sent to a farm.
I can't even remember because I watched the cartoon. I had the big. What was the big dome thing that they had?
The Technodrome.
I had that thing.
Oh no! The moving thing. Here's the thing with the moving truck thing. That actually happened, but here's what happened. I was a fucking kindergartner at some point, I think is when this happened. We were moving, and I was playing.
You were a kindergartner, Connor?
I wasn't born 25.
Whoa.
I was playing the back of the moving truck with my Turtles toys, and, like, I must have left one or two of them, or maybe a handful of them, on the back, like the rim of the fucking of the moving truck. And I left them there, and a few of them survived the entire journey on just the lip of this fucking U-Haul truck. I have no idea how that happened.
Wow.
But we got to the new house. My dad was like, Connor, here. I was like, what? My Rockstar Leonardo made it.
Oh, man. They still make awesome turtle toys.
Yeah, well, actually, I think we can probably talk about the Swamp Thing toys, too, because I had a number of those. I
had them, too. I had the one you could put in the freezer and it would change colors.
Yes, I had that one, too.
I had Power Rangers and G.I. Joes and Turtles. That's it.
I never had G.I. Joes. I was Turtles, Power Rangers, Swamp Thing, and X-Men.
Yeah, Swamp Thing toys were basically like based on a weird gimmick. Flu just said you put them in the freezer, change his color. And the one I had is that he started green, and if you exposed him to hot water or cold water, he turned white.
I had that one too.
Yeah.
It was like Arctic Swamp Thing.
Yeah, there was something like their G.I. Joe toy line that was the Ninjas, and they did the same thing. They started white, and then if you expose them to a certain temperature of color, they would turn. They started colored.
Kind of useless for ninjas.
I mean, this technology has been utilized by beer companies now, but
exactly.
Yeah, I have some pictures I'm going to pop in the chat. But yeah, like I had all of them, and they were much more based off of the cartoon design, but they came out with the movie.
I can't believe there was a Swamp Thing cartoon.
It was awesome.
For a character who was like heavily franchised out at the time, like his popularity is not what it should be.
No.
Yeah.
Because this character was poured out for a minute.
He was, which I don't understand.
Yeah,
They were trying to make him. He was DC's version of the Hulk in the 80s.
Yeah, but like
In
that
a
doesn't
lot
make
of
sense
ways,
to me,
you know?
though.
Because he's big, he's green, he's
Right.
a monster, and yeah, I stopped. That's the things.
Yeah.
He even fought an abomination.
Yes, he did. Oh my god,
Which
I found one.
I think we have to let's finish how this movie ends because
It doesn't?
preposterous. It's preposterous. It has no ending. So like Arcane chases him through this magical well that teleports you places. And he comes in the water, and he still has his fucking sword, which survived the entire jet stream transportation to the swamp.
Well, because
He's not a master sword fighter.
Well, there can be only one.
Yeah. So then, like Swamp Thing like puts Adrian Barbeau on this little island, and then they have a fist fight with not him and Adrian Barbeau. God, that'd be great. Him and Arcane have a fist fight, and like at some point, Swamp Thing goes to like aid Adrian Barbeau, and then the way this is edited, it makes it look like he straight up grabs Adrian Barbeau and puts her in front of him to take a sword shot to the chest, and then she just slumps over, bleeding to death.
He stabs her 3 inches into the boob.
Yeah.
Like, her left one specifically.
And you don't even see it make contact. Like, it goes, and then she's like, ah! And then he pulls his sword back. There's no blood in it, and she just falls over.
And then she gets red juice coming out of her on her white top.
Yeah. And then
Again, she's wearing...
Swamp Thing's like, I'm so mad that I made you stab my girlfriend because I put her directly in front of your blade.
That I met yesterday.
Yeah, that I met yesterday.
When I was a human.
And then like, Swamp Thing goes and, like, fucking pulls up a stump and then beats Arcane with it. And then, like, just gets him on the ground and just pummels him into oblivion, and then takes the sword and instead of, like, stabbing him, he just whacks him in the face. He's dead! And then he stabs the sword into the ground, and it lingers in the handle. I'm like, it's fucking Excalibur. Like, it's...
Oh, man.
And then he heals Adrian Barbeau with magical moss, which we didn't know he could do until now. Fuck. We didn't know he could grow his arm back either. He just does it.
Oh, my God. That's what I was thinking. I want to talk about his reaching for the sunlight scene.
His fucking baby arm.
Oh, my God. I just kept thinking of Deadpool.
They never established that he's powered by... Yes, I thought of that, too. I thought of him...
Oh, I don't feel so big with this.
But here, maybe it's like he goes to feel up Adrian Barbeau with his little fucking baby hand. He's like, now they're really massive.
Damn it.
But yeah, like his power is totally ambiguous. And then like he fucking grows his arm back in the basement when like the sun is cracking through the wall. Mm-hmm. And like
it takes 5 minutes for his arm to grow back.
It's like Dragon Ball
real
Z.
Time.
It's Dragon Ball Z levels of like I need time to power up this attack.
Right. Yeah. It's like the end of Daredevil season 1.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then like little Bruno helps them get away or whatever. And
and
then he does it again, a WWE move where he goes on all fours. So Arcane Wolf trips over him.
But then after this fight, like Arcane's just dead in the fucking water, and then he resurrects Adrian Barbeau magically. And then he's like, gotta go, bye. And she's like, let me come with you and live with you in the swamp. And he's like, what does he say? She's like,
oh, you can finish your work. And then he's like, with these? And he shows his hands.
His perfectly normal hands are just a little fatter than most people's hands.
And
then she's like, I can be your hands. And he's like, bye. And just turns around and just walks out of the film.
Yeah, he does the end of the Hulk TV show, walk away.
Yes.
What will I do? I'm a monster.
He goes off and goes every single time he runs into somebody because that sound cue.
The entire plot of Swamp Thing summed up into a collective few minutes of audio. That's it.
Yeah, that's the whole
Nothing
thing.
to
Really.
it.
There are a couple things about Glasses Kids maybe that we should probably talk about because...
Oh, Jude?
Yeah, like his line about... you shouldn't be out at the swamp at night. And he's like, where does that come from? Are you telling us something about your character there a little bit?
When she's like, oh, don't worry about it, Jude. And he's like, from the lady hiding behind my desk.
Yeah.
Hey, do you own this gas station, child?
Yeah. But yeah.
Also, the only person of anything that's not like, he's just so out of place in this whole movie. Yeah, this movie takes place in Louisiana, and there's only white people, and some of them are British, and some are Australian.
I half expected this kid to get off the fucking seat where she was walking up and be like, "I want my pancakes," and then karate kick her in the face.
I did look at his IMDb. He's been in 2 things: Swamp Thing, and then Reggie Watts did a thing where it's like The Return of Jude. I guess he interviewed him.
What?
I need to see this.
I know.
Is he traumatized?
He must be.
Yeah, I wonder how much his parents got paid to put him in this piece of garbage.
Hopefully
What's funnier is looking up the people who were in Manos Hands of Fate and finding out what they all got paid, which I think was nothing. And what happened to him afterwards. I think the only person in that cast who got paid was the dog, because they gave him dog treats.
Wow. I wonder if he at least got to he probably was like, well, I did get to get hugged by Adrian Barbeau, and I was right at the perfect level.
I've heard views. Did anybody hear the story of Manos and how it got made?
No.
Okay, Hunter, do you know what Manos Hands of Fate is?
That's an awful movie they did on MS3K, right?
Yeah, it's probably the worst movie ever made. That list gets.
I watch that one.
Well, don't. Watch the Mission Science Theater episode.
Yeah, I meant the MS3K one.
Don't ever watch the actual movie. It is patently unwatchable. I think even the guys from that show, all the writers said, that was the most painful experience we have ever had to do, bar none.
Yeah. I do suggest looking at pictures of the female lead, because...
That movie was made by some guy who bet his movie producer friend that he could make a horror film for under $20,000. A successful horror film for under $20,000.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Well, I was going to say the first part. Yeah, I can make a horror movie for under $20,000.
Yeah,
especially then.
Today.
And then the whole movie was shot with no sound, and it had to be redubbed later.
That explains a lot.
And the camera he used could only film, I think, for 20 to 30 seconds at a time.
Oh, so it's a stop motion film.
No, but it has some of those awkward cuts you'll ever see. And it explains why the film's so fucking jumpy.
I have to say is I googled it, and there's something called Manos Hands of Felt.
Yeah, it's probably
version, I guess.
It's oh my god, what?
Well, somebody made an 8-bit game based off of that movie. Also,
oh my god,
that was a thing.
The best riff from that movie in the MS3K version is at some point the villain who has his fucking cape that he just it's a
cape with red hands on it.
It's a cape that it has wings, and on the wings are big red hands. At some point, I think it's Crow goes I wish those hands would just push him over. And at some point during the film, nothing's happening, and then it's Joel at the time. Joel just screams, "Do something!" But that's another bad movie. This movie, I had this movie on a VHS. I had ready access to it, and I don't remember anything. Like I said at the beginning of this episode, I don't remember anything past the middle point. And I vaguely remember. Yeah, there's nothing. Nothing really happens except Boreman. I vaguely remember the TV show. I think I remember a single image from it in my head. I never watched it. I watched the cartoon a bit. And I had some of the toys, and now that I'm kind of thinking about this, it kind of reminds me of the way the Toxic Avenger was merchandised.
That is exactly what I was thinking.
And it's weird because
very Toxic Avenger.
One thing is more of a children's thing, but who here has seen the Toxic Avenger?
Me.
It is not. It is in no way a fucking children's movie like that.
No, he gets killed so hard in the beginning.
Those movies are so violent and so gratuitous. I can't believe that someone looked at it and said, "This would make a great Saturday morning cartoon show."
Guess who also watched that cartoon and had those toys?
You did.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a few of them.
God. They were ridiculous. It's New Jersey's first superhero.
Yeah.
That was the tagline.
Yeah, boy, what a superhero he was when he rips out people's intestines with his bare hands.
And his secret lair was in a garbage dump, and his girlfriend was blind.
Larry Cohen should have made this movie.
I'm actually surprised in 2018 that we have not heard about a Toxic Avengers cinematic universe.
Well, I mean, I think they made a fourth movie in the late 2000s.
Wasn't there talk of a reboot?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure there was at one point there was going to be a reboot of Toxic
It's funny because I mentioned this because like Swamp Thing, if you didn't know the DC character, looks like he would belong in Troma's lineup because like Troma has like fucking Toxic Avenger and Kabuki Man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this Swamp Thing could totally be a Troma character.
But like, yeah, this was merchandise to hell and back. Like you said, it was a cartoon show. The cartoon show has the funniest opening ever. It's just a rip off.
We talked about it.
Just a rip off of
Wild Thing.
That's it. I don't remember it lasting very long.
I think it was probably like a year. It's
But,
definitely
like,
around the same time that it only came out after the second movie because it's around the same time as the Ninja Turtles TV show, like that late 80s. It's before Batman and X-Men in the 90s.
Well, yeah, that X-Men 90s TV show, like, it's probably like the one reason that comic is as beloved as it is because fucking everybody is exposed to that. But like, so I feel like Swamp Thing's legacy is not what it should be for how much it was pushed at a certain point in time.
Yeah. Well, again, it was like the entire character origin was basically wiped off and then rewritten in the late 80s, which is the character that people actually love now.
Do we think that maybe like in a similar way that Batman and Robin kind of, or the Batman 66 TV show like freaked everybody out about having a Batman TV show, and how Batman and Robin like killed the franchise for like 10 years? Do you think maybe all this stuff people look back on it and go like we can't touch that with a 10-foot fucking pole?
I feel like this is almost more similar to Howard the Duck. Like this is, like cause I feel like Howard the Duck, he wasn't that well known, but I feel like there was a period where they were trying to make him a thing.
I think Howard the Duck. One, it never made sense for that character to have his own movie in anything. Swamp Thing does, and I think the biggest thing was
about Man Thing.
They did
oh my god! I can't believe that's a movie.
Also, Man Thing is a shitty character. Sorry.
That's technically the first Marvel movie that they produced.
Goddamn lie. That is a goddamn lie, sir.
Swamp Thing is way better. And I will fight to the death.
Better. I'm not gonna sit here and disavow like the coolness of Man Thing.
No, right? Man Thing is cool, but Swamp Thing's better.
Isn't Man Thing like more of a monster than a man?
Yeah.
Well, he's not human at all. He's literally just like a force of nature.
Yeah, okay. whatever human part of Man Thing is long gone. Like,
whereas like Swamp Thing's humanity is like it's there, but it's he's kind of Dr. Manhattan-y as of the last few times I saw him, where like he's
a god, basically.
Yeah, he's not as disconnected as Dr. Manhattan, but like the world of man just has no value to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because like I think the last time I saw him was actually like early Batman Reaper stuff, where like Batman calls him, he's like, "Hey, someone shot your dad," and he's like, Swamp Thing's like, "Cool, let's go take care of this calmly in a very orderly fashion way." And then Swamp Thing sticks vines at that guy's body and kills him.
Well, they did that was actually one of the better things going. So before New 52, Swamp Thing wasn't Alex Holland.
No,
Alex Holland. Yeah, it was the sort of plant clone of Alec Holland.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then New 52 made him like the end of, well, I don't even know what that was called before New 52. Into
Blackest Night, I thought.
Yeah, Blackest Night.
Blackest Night.
Yeah, he came back to life as the actual Alec Holland became the Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Okay. But like, I don't know, it's a cool character. I feel like he's not, like, I couldn't believe he was in Injustice 2. That floored me.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Like well. All of the stuff that Alan Moore kind of started and made that character interesting is awesome. Like, there's nothing not awesome about him. Like, he is everywhere.
I heard on Caped Crisis when Laser Time still had that show going. which anybody who likes comic book podcasts, like, go through Laser Time's website and just search for that archive or Cape Crisis. It's good shit. Cape Crisis got me to read the Alan Moore Swamp Thing, where Superman gets some fucking bizarre Kryptonian fever, and then is like, well, gonna go to the swamp to die, and then, like, just kind of fucks off to the swamp and starts, like, hallucinating hardcore and is, like, really dying. And then Swamp Thing, like, is like, oh, my pretty flowers. Oh, the Kryptonian's here. Oh, he looks really fucked up. And then, like, basically just hugs him for the remainder of the book. And Superman hallucinates. And, like, they do this fucking wild art of, like, Swamp Thing is cradling him, but then they show you, like, I think it's, like, he's cradling him, but allowing, like, every living thing in the swamp to basically feed up to him and drain this toxin out of Clark's body. And Superman basically cradles and hugs him until he's cured, and then once he knows he's going to be okay, he just lets go and just walks away. And then Clark wakes up like, I'm awesome, I cured myself all by myself with no help whatsoever. Flies off, and then Swamp Thing's like, pretty flowers.
Yeah, well,
it's
the other
more
part
serious
of
than that.
the part with Batman in that his story is way more awesome.
Yeah.
Because when he's making out with Abby, a photographer captures it, like a photo, and ZCPD arrests her. So this pisses off Swamp Thing. He invades Gotham. It takes it over because he's God.
And Batman tries to fight back.
Well, there's two parts that are awesome. So he takes it over with all plants and makes everybody high.
Mm-hmm.
So the entire city is tripping balls. Batman has like a giant Batmobile cutting through the forest to get to him, and then just like goes over the speakerphone, we need to talk. And Swamp Thing's basically like, you know that I can't be killed. And he's like, okay, I'll go talk to them. And it has like a whole conversation with Gordon, the mayor, about like, well, yeah, she did hook up with a non-human, but there's lots of non-humans. He's like, Nightwing hooks up with Starfire, who's like people descended from cats. There's also the guy in Metropolis who's not from this planet either. And they're just like shit themselves over the idea that, yeah, technically Superman's not a human, so hooking up with him is illegal.
Mm-hmm.
And then
who here knows Swamp Thing's Injustice 2 endings? It's fucking rad.
I don't know these things. No.
Okay.
No.
So I think because like he's very much talking about the green in Injustice 2. And Brainiac shows up, and I think his ending, I haven't seen it in a while, mostly because my Injustice 2 disc is still fucking broken. Thanks, Xbox. The disc is fine. My system will.
Spencer.
I think he basically says like I will not stand by as foreign as aliens invade this planet and do, and ravage it. I think he basically like has the green take over the entire planet and basically creates like this weird fucking natural defense.
Oh shit!
But like he turns the entire planet into a big fucking forest.
That's awesome.
That's cool, but like he's starting some shit there.
Well, it's been like there's so many great Swamp. Like the New 52 run of Swamp Thing and Animal Man is goddamn amazing.
Yeah, his ending kind of implies he does a Superman thing where he's like the only person who can protect the planet is me.
Right. The problem is that like assuming the rules are similar to the New 52 verse, the Rot and the Red are going to have to team up to fight him now. Because we talked about this before. It's like rock, paper, scissors. Like
yes.
So yeah, they have to like team up whenever one group or kingdom is too strong. They have to team up to take them out.
Well, and I think the thing with Injustice is that so many people are dead.
Right.
Other people can fill in power vacuums, so I'm not sure if there even is a Rot and a Red with any representatives left in the Injustice universe.
I mean,
if anything, it would be the Rot, and the Red would probably be.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember from the game. Like, I don't think there'd be anybody reprening the Red because it would have been Beast Boy.
Beast Boy's dead. Beast Boy's dead. Beast Boy got nuked.
Okay. Who else is I can't remember. I don't remember
the representatives of the Red are like Beast Boy, Animal Man, Black Orchid.
Black Orchid. Okay. Here's the thing.
And red, though.
But she's green and red.
Oh wait, I'm thinking of Black. I'm thinking of Orca. Never mind, not Black Orchid.
No.
Hell yeah.
Dude, Orca would kind of be
technically count.
Same with like Killer Croc. Like anything that's like an animal based thing is a red person.
Okay,
Croc would become the representative if he's still alive.
In the Injustice 2 comics, I shit you not, Killer Croc and Orca get married, and everyone's there.
That opens up a whole lot of questions, and I'm very glad Eric is not on this episode.
Yeah, that issue I think is like real quick. I'm gonna I think the Injustice 2 comics are over. And like it's the second to last issue, and I'm pretty sure the second to last issue
count in order to be sure.
Yeah. The second to last issue ends with Grodd grabbing Ra's al. No, he commands Raz Al Ghul to put his head into his fist so Grodd can crush it. He's like, come here, put your head in my hand, squish. And then Alfred leaves Batman and says like, hey. Good luck with everything. I don't think is featured really in any of those comics, even though he's in the game.
No, because he wouldn't make any sense. He'd be kind of like Nightwing's power set with like a sword.
I don't know. Well, his powers is using him in the game is awesome. Like he does shit like throw logs at, makes hits of himself.
Swamp Thing? Yeah. I meant like Raish in the game.
No, but I think the game is like what does he do? Oh, I think he like basically into the earth itself, turns into a giant ant, then pulls you underground, and then slows you around with a giant fish, and then makes like a fucking stone pillar come out of the ground and snaps you over, and then brings you back onto the surface.
Wow.
Most of those super moves are probably fatal.
Yes.
Did we lose Arlen?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. This movie is like...
Yeah, Alan. This movie sucks, and I'm sure the sequel sucks too. I haven't seen the sequel in a long-ass time. I think I've only seen it once.
So should we do that for next week?
Oh, dear God, no. Well, and like, here's the thing. That TV show is allegedly happening?
I guess. I don't know.
I've watched one episode of Titans. I will try. I'll give it 5. I really just want to try Doom Patrol.
Here's the thing. I know that like we're destined to cover the shit that's happening in the DC app soon, but like I have little to no desire to sit through Titans at all.
Here's my problem. I could watch season 3 of Channel Zero, Sabrina, and that new show starring Richard Madden called The Bodyguard. I have a lot of other things that I could be doing with my time.
Yeah,
that I would rather watch.
I haven't started Haunting on Hill House yet. I got one episode of Daredevil. The CW stuff is back. I didn't catch up the new episode of Black Lightning.
Yeah,
I would like to, at some point in my life, finish Boardwalk Empire, for God's sake.
Oh, my.
Daredevil was so good. The Netflix stuff is what gives me the problem, because it's like I have to watch it all in like 3 days.
Yeah.
Or I feel bad.
I just real quick, because we're going to get Daredevil soon enough, but like, and I probably won't be in that episode because I'm very behind. Like, episode 1 was some of the finest TV I've ever watched, like, honestly. That was really fucking compelling.
Episode, I think it's 4, is one of the most interesting, like, directed and like designed episodes. I'm trying to figure out how to say it. Like the way they handle that episode is awesome.
I have strong feelings.
You guys, and I think we're going to disagree on a lot of things, Arlen. But
we're going to disagree, but I completely understand that my feelings are kind of stupid. But
as long as it's you saying it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think Dex is one of the best additions to like the.
I 1,000% agree. Yeah. And also, Vincent D'Onofrio deserves a goddamn Emmy.
I have just recently discovered something called. It's similar to Zoom posting and Negan posting. It's called Fisk posting.
Yes,
I saw one today.
People just tell very mundane stories, but it's very, very dramatized, and every now and then one word has the volume jacked up.
Well, he just
like, have you heard the story of the seamstress who sold the sofa to the wrong man?
His disappointment face is the greatest face of all time. When his like quiet rage of just like, I want to squish your head.
When he just snaps, it's so. It's so good.
My favorite line, even though it's really bad, it's badly written and actually badly delivered, but Vincent D'Onofrio is still awesome. It's like at the end of Daredevil season 1 where he goes, "I'm gonna kill you."
It works though.
It does, because I'm like, if I was that angry, like, yeah, I'd sound that fucking stupid and babyish too.
Did any of you guys ever watch? I'm sure it's like a long shot. Him on Law and Order, like his Law and Order.
Oh
No.
yeah,
No, but here's there's part of me that can't separate him as Fisk and him as fucking Earl
From Men in Black.
Yeah, or Edgar. I'm sorry, Edgar.
If you watch him on Law and
Skin's falling
Order,
off your bones.
sugar water.
And water.
Yeah, his character.
like the kicker.
That's
His character
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
His character on Law and Order is very. It's like a pre-Fisk, like in a lot of ways, because he's very quiet and cerebral.
Yeah, he's not like yelling all the time. He's just kind of like he has a very interesting presence in that show, if I can remember correctly.
I want to pivot back to Swamp Thing, especially this TV show, because like it was announced at the same time that Titans was announced, and that what was the other show they announced?
Titans,
The Outsiders?
Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol. There we go. Not The Outsiders. That's too much.
And Doom Patrol specifically is a spin-off because they have their own episode in Titans.
Yeah, and The Outsiders for Young Justice season 3. That's right.
Yes. Which comes out the week of Christmas.
I feel like someone is listening to us because that's just, to me, it screams like, "Hey, Arlen, here's some Outsiders for you."
Fuck you, Harlan. We're going to title this.
In their defense, Young Justice is really fucking good. So.
I've heard that.
Young Justice is amazing.
Young Justice
the
is
actual
very good.
show. The abridged is awesome, but the actual show is
great. The abridged
great.
is so good. Well, the one thing I like about the abridged version is that they've created this DC abridged universe by incorporating all of the animated stuff into their own bubble of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that's why you get all the Damien stuff.
Yeah, and the Damien stuff is fantastic.
The voice of Damien is actually become the voice I hear when I read it. Like, it's such a petulant child voice.
Yeah, and I love the fact that Deathstroke is basically Macho Man Randy Savage. And all he does
is Macho Man.
That's
like Macho Man. And the in-canon version for that in the abridged universe is that every time he goes out on a mission, he does a giant pile of cocaine.
My favorite is when, which is it? The movie when he's the president on the other Earth.
Oh
is my favorite
my god!
version.
Yes, Crisis on Two Earths abridged is some good shit because Lex Luthor is Rick from Rick and Morty, and just consistently walking down to people and has a portal gun. That's also the episode where Dr. Manhattan starts to show up and going, "Entertain me!" But this Swamp Thing show, like, I don't...
Yeah.
We see nothing from it.
It needs, based on what I've seen from Titans, they cannot, unless they are saving all their money for that show, there's no way they have a budget to pull it off.
I feel like it was too ambitious to announce as a TV show. Like, maybe do it as, like... Now, here's the other thing. Like, do you think this service will do, like, made-for-DCU movies? Like...
Maybe.
Yes.
I mean, we talked about this when they announced it. I don't see a possibility where Alec is the Swamp Thing the whole time. They don't have the... Unless they go, and I'll bring this up. Thanks to Arlen, I decided to watch that Star Trek show. Unless they do with that, they did what CBS did with that show. And really, I mean, they dumped all the money into that TV show. Yeah. Unless they do that, there's no way. Like, he cannot be Swamp Thing for 90% of the show. I doubt that he's even Swamp Thing for 15% of the show. It's like, and the smart thing to do would be to make it like the Hulk, kind of, where it's like he accidentally turns into Swamp Thing in some cases, but otherwise it's...
Or like, what about a miniseries? Like, why would you do this as maybe a limited 4 to 5 episodes?
That could be something if they do it, if it's written well. But again, like,
they could do the Castlevania thing and do like 4 episodes
because they are doing like classic Swamp Thing. Like, they're going back to the beginning, which I don't know if that's the greatest idea, if I'm honest.
Yeah,
but
actually, Hunter, I think you may be. I mean, they're like, why not just animate it, but take it seriously?
Yeah. Why not make it? Yeah,
bring back Bruce Timm. Just do it. Just do it and pay him whatever he wants.
Shit, Castlevania's out. Shh.
Another fucking TV show I have to watch, apparently, because I heard Castlevania's great, too.
I've heard that as well.
Watch Castlevania, Connor.
I can't believe I live in a world where someone's like, dude, you gotta watch the Netflix Castlevania series.
Hell yes.
There's so many things. Like, I can't wait to watch Sabrina, but my wife decided we have to watch all of Riverdale just in case it connects.
No, you don't. You don't need to watch Riverdale.
Well, we're already almost finished with season 2. And
even if I did have to watch
terrible.
Riverdale, I wouldn't watch Riverdale.
It's okay.
Riverdale's fine.
Watch season 1 of Riverdale.
We're almost done with
Stop.
2, so
Then
we're way
stop.
past you.
Yeah.
I have to get over the very self-indulgent and snooty advertisements.
Yeah, those advertisements are bad, though. I'm someone who was watching the show at the time and thought those advertisements were, like, shitty. So, like...
What, for Riverdale?
Yeah. The advertisements
all I have
were,
to say
I
is
don't fit in. I don't fit in.
Yeah,
Do you
I don't
remember the
fit
advertisements for? Do you remember the advertisements for Arrow?
No.
Those were bad. I thought it was a different show.
I mean, when every male character was completely shirtless in every ad.
I do want to say something about CW real quick, even before we get to it tomorrow, just because it's on my brain. Everything the CW advertises on their app is the most insufferable trite I've ever seen. And that includes, and I'm sure some of you might know what I'm talking about, because I think we've all been trying to catch up on these shows through their website and their app, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I had to sit through that fucking Truth anti-cigarette ad
Oh
one
my
more
God.
fucking time,
All those ads.
I'm gonna burn a building down.
Anything revolving around that. It's just...
It makes me
so
wanna
much
say-
healthier than. Oh my god!
It's the
fuck
most
those pop-
abrasive advertisement I've ever seen. That, and every time they advertise a show, I feel like the same, like, it's not the same song, but it might as well be, but, like, everything is advertised with this, like, this weird kind of Lana Del Rey, Florence and the Machine ripoff background music with some woman in the background going,
yeah.
All I can think of is the show that the actor that plays Ralph was on that I kept seeing ads for, where he's a robot in some dystopian
Dynasty?
zombie future.
That's the one that looks cool, though, of all of the
Yeah, that looks actually. That show actually looks very BBC to me.
I
Remember
love
when
that
Mr.
CW
Fantastic was immortal?
But, like,
But
the show
that
where
wasn't
the
a
girl
CW
gets
show. That
out
was
of
like
Harvard looks bad. Like,
That wasn't a CW show? Are you kidding me?
no, that was a
No.
CBS show.
What the?
That was a prime time CBS show.
wait,
I
what
love
show?
that. I love that CW Seed. CW Seed is where, like, DC and Warner Brothers, or, like, I'm not sorry, CW and Warner Brothers take their trash and just dump it.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just them. Again, it's also CBS dumps their trash because it's that
Let me
that
correct
show
you
with
on
Mr.
that. Let me correct you on that. Oh, sorry, Liz, but like I want to get this across real quick. It also has every episode of Whose Line Is It Anyways? So I
Does?
guess yes.
Yeah, they also have every episode of Everybody Hates Chris. So, like,
They've
it's
also
not all
got all one season of Birds of Prey. So
Yes, that is true. But I feel like all those DC shows are going to leave
I think CWC
Probably.
dies as
Real
in a
soon.
few months.
I don't think
Yeah.
it dies. I just think all those other shows leave and go to the DC.
Or I
app.
think it gets converted into something else because it'll become like a Crackle or a fucking something like that.
Well, they'll just put it on the main CW site, and they'll call it
Yeah.
some other section or something.
Because the only thing that you have besides that's like the cartoons that they did for the Flareverse.
Yeah.
Well, for a while they had some of the they had Flashpoint Paradox, and they had Justice League War.
Yeah, all those got moved to the DC app.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I still haven't bought yet, and you can get a free trial, right?
Like a week or something.
Yeah, I have that trial. I haven't used it at all yet.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm probably gonna watch that Wonder Woman movie with not Kerry Washington, Kerry what's her face from The Americans. I can't remember her name, but yeah.
Oh, Kerry Russell.
Kerry Russell. Apparently that movie's really good. Like, and apparently it's really violent. Like you see people getting their heads cut off in the first few minutes.
Hell yeah!
So yeah, like I'm into that. Yeah,
I kind of want to peek at their comic section. That's kind of what's intriguing me most because, like, if it's as deep as I think it is, then a lot of the catching up I've been wanting to do for a long time is right at my fingertips.
Yeah.
And I don't mind paying, what is it, $5 a month, $8 a month?
It's something like that. It's not that much.
I don't mind paying that to get all of that shit.
Yeah, and especially if that library is going to get bigger, because I immediately clicked onto like the movies and stuff, and it was not that great. Like it was all the Nolan Batman movies. It was the original Superman movies, and then the Supergirl movie and a couple other things. Boy.
Well, yeah, I have a feeling the movie thing is going to be like, what can we have the immediate rights to, as opposed to stuff like, because I don't think the fucking DCEU movies aren't going on there anytime soon.
Right, and like the movie we just watched, it's apparently was produced by MGM, so that's probably why it's not on there immediately. Even though MGM is like a shell company now, it doesn't really exist.
I think the Keanu Reeves Constantine is on there, maybe.
It might be
on Netflix.
It is on Netflix. Yeah,
that movie is not that bad. If you ignore the fact that it's Constantine,
we will not be doing a bad movie special on that one.
It has my favorite devil, I think, in any film ever.
Isn't it Peter Stormare?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and he's tearing it up. You really just
I'm glancing at the. We'll wrap this episode up soon because we're going a little long, but we haven't had a chance to talk about this app really yet so far.
Yeah.
I wish Alan won because Alan's the one that has the actual membership. But like, I clicked the comic section.
He pre-ordered a year, I think.
Yeah, he did. Well, that's what Alan does.
Let's not talk about that.
No, yeah.
I don't know. Alan is my man. He gave me a copy of Assassin's Creed, which I have not stopped playing.
Oh yeah, no, fucking Alan got me a PS4 and Bloodborne, okay, and Hellblade. Like
we all love Alan when he makes good decisions.
Yeah.
So like I'm looking at the comics thing, and like they have a whole Halloween theme going on right now, including like Justice League Dark, iVampire, Batman Madness,
iVampire.
They've got all of Long Halloween on here right now.
That's good.
Hellblazer Rebirth, Titans, Batman Beyond, Arkham Asylum, Starfire.
The Grant Morrison Arkham Asylum?
No. It looks like a series.
Oh, fuck that.
Like some classic Titan shit from 1980.
Yeah.
Okay. Judas Contract kind of stuff.
Justice League Dark,
Death in the Family, Under the Hood, Action Comics, Brainiac, Green Lantern, No Fear, Green Arrow, Quiver.
Oh, that reminds me. You guys were talking about, I wasn't on the CW show. You were talking about the Longbow Hunters. I've actually read that book.
I saw you mention that. Isn't that they killed Shadow in season 1?
Yes. Well, Shadow's actually in the show. She was the Asian girl in season 1, and then they randomly had her have a twin sister in season 3.
Dear God, that's a Gotham move.
Yeah.
But she is introduced. That's where that character came from, is the Longbow Hunters.
Oh.
And I kind of understand what they're saying they're going for that, but I don't understand because it's kind of starts this like cult thing. So like I think they're just kind of throwing that name out there because there's nothing that exists where that book could happen because it doesn't involve any supernatural stuff whatsoever. I think it involves a lot of stuff about like Robert kind of being like they were going to that island.
Well, in this show, it seems like they're basically just they're like a new League of Assassins. It looks like.
Yeah, they were like a competitor. They were like an assassin league. Yeah, similar.
Interesting.
Yeah. And Shadow was like, in that version, she was not a bad guy. She was the daughter of someone that got killed. And so she teams up with Oliver, I believe, to extract vengeance. And Reach trains him to be a good archer.
I'll say it more in depth tomorrow, or I think Sunday. Sunday we're recording CW. Tomorrow or Sunday? I don't remember.
Tomorrow, CW, Daredevil Sunday.
Okay, that's when I won't be on. I am pleasantly surprised with the broad spectrum of CW stuff right now. Like, I don't hate anything.
Yeah. I mean, since I'm not going to be on tomorrow, I'll just say this. CW is kind of killing it right now. I'm just assuming Black Lightning is still good.
I haven't watched it yet. I've been trying to like build up episodes, but so far I think they've learned lessons, and I think they've actually been listening to fans, especially with Flash.
Or a certain television review podcast. Not going to mention any names.
Just what they're doing with Iris gives me hope.
Yeah.
Like just
I also really want to know what the fuck Iris did to Nora in the future to make her so bitter towards her. That's really intriguing.
Probably just be Iris.
Just be an overprotective mom.
Yeah, probably. But I don't know. Like, I mean, it's probably unrealistic the way that they're depicting it, but I feel like if you only have access to one parent for like most of your life, maybe you get bored of that parent. I don't really know what that's like.
I think you get like, it's like, oh yeah, like you've always been there, and then you get kind of this weird nostalgia is not the right word, but you kind of build a narrative in your head about the idealistic version of their parent.
Which also, the fucking Flash Museum, fuck yes, that was awesome. I don't care if it was contained to one room, but there was a bunch of cool, like, Zoom suit was in there, Savitar suit was in there, the fucking, the weather wand was in there.
I don't think I've seen this yet. I haven't seen this week's episode.
Oh, it opens with Nora as a child in the Flash Museum, and they build up Sakata like a fucking horror movie villain.
Awesome.
And I actually one of the things they did very well, I think I'll elaborate on this more tomorrow. When she walks in, the first thing she glances at and kind of makes a face at is the reverse Flash suit. And I think someone pointed out, like, the writers are doing a very good job of keeping Fawn as this presence that is looming over the show like he's fucking supposed to.
Well, the thing is, we know that, what's his name, is in the season.
Wait, who?
That plays Harrison Wells.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's back now. They just, if you see this episode, they reveal who he's back as, and I kind of like this Wells, too.
Okay.
I like him more than H.R. Wells, let's put it that way.
Okay, but, like, he's been filming since the jump. So, like...
Yeah,
I'm with you. I think that and I do agree, like, the breaking Flash up into those hunks is a great idea.
Yeah, because apparently this is going to be 3 mini arcs throughout the season, not one long arc, from what I understand.
Yeah, I heard that.
So I feel like this is going to be a much easier thing to digest. But anyway, I think we can wrap up on that.
Yeah, I think we're probably good.
Yeah. This is like half movie review, half After Dark.
Well, it's like we usually do this with movie specials, especially because like we're kind of on the subject of DC stuff, and like the DC app is apparently housing a Swamp Thing show. And like we wait and see if it materializes, or we wait and see if it fucking dies. I don't know. But anyway, I've been Connor McGraw. Movie Dumpster Trick or Trash is almost over. We just recorded Night of the Demons, which thank God that movie's as good as it is, because if I had to sit through one more fucking Medea level movie, I'd probably put a bullet in my mouth.
I listened to that episode and I had so many things I wanted to message you.
It's a very good episode. I will say that also.
It's so good.
Yeah. Kind of has similar problems with this movie, actually.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting.
At least this movie delivered on there's at least monsters in suits.
Yeah, but Night of the Demons fucking rules, and if you haven't seen it and you're interested in it, I'm going to tell you right now, it is it's punk rock, goth rock, Evil Dead. That's it.
Okay.
It's fucking awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, nice. And it takes place on Halloween. Everybody's dressed up, and it's totally in the Halloween mood. It has an awesome opening sequence. The special effects are great. It's filmed really well. I think it's incredibly underrated. It's got 2 fucking sequels and a remake, and no one ever talks about it. So enjoy that, and we got some other stuff coming out. We have a very, very busy end of the year because we're doing an Election Day movie. I think we're watching Swing Vote. We got Mortal Kombat Annihilation coming out, and then we're doing a Christmas-themed month as well, where I already picked Santa's Sleigh with Bill Goldberg.
Oh my God, I was hoping you were going to say that, because that's hilarious.
Dude, they asked me what I was going to pick, and I went, Santa's Sleigh, and they both went, we knew you'd pick that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's a good pick. On the topic of movie dumpster, you best be inviting me on that Ernest episode here.
Ernest will probably not be till next year.
I know.
You did Ernest Halloween.
Ernest stupid.
Listen,
I've seen that movie so many times.
Connor, I call any like cartoon adaptions. I'm your boy. Look
well, I already have Arlen lined up for the one. Like that's I already pitched that. And Joe was totally on board with that.
If I have to fly to one of your houses to be on that episode, I will.
Oh, no.
I've said if you ever do Lawnmower Man.
I'm going to go with Lawnmower Man as soon as I can. But, like, the amount of stuff we're doing towards the end of the year is so daunting, we might have to wait. And then I think we're going to, we're taking a few weeks off after December just because,
good idea.
This is season 1 and we wrapped it up and I think we did a pretty good job. And then we're going to kind of restructure how we record and how we release and try to get a better schedule going. I still think we did a pretty fantastic job for year 1. And I'm so glad that Night of the Demons is going to release on Halloween. It's episode 31. Fuck yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, but who else has got plugs?
Lost Horror Pod every single week. I'm just assuming that the episode I did with Hunter released without any problems.
We're just
assuming. So yeah,
there's a lot of good conversation in that one. So
yeah, talk about our top 5 monster movies. Talk about the Gill Man from Monster Squad. Actually,
there's a lot of good discussion about that one.
Yeah.
Gremlin too.
Swamp Thing did not appear on that episode.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Swamp Thing for some reason. Weird.
But yeah, that's a good episode. Yeah, that's my stuff for the most part.
I do have something to plug this time. Lost Hero Games that launched. It without a hitch, seemingly. Yet. So we recorded the podcast last week. We're about to record another episode tomorrow, I think, at some point. Look out for that. There's a lot of cool things, like Red Dead Redemption just came out, and we have Connor Irving writing that review right now, and I'm really excited to see what he's doing. Check that out.
I have to say, not to cut you off, but like the yeehaw movement is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. That too, like people going 2 more days until yeehaw.
Yeehaw, bing, bing.
Yeah.
That game's great, by the way. I'm going to plug that game too. Go buy that game. It's good.
Go playing Spider-Man.
Yeah. Oh, you know what, Connor? Fair enough.
Now, right?
Well, I got New Game Plus, so I'm burning through it again.
Yeah, Connor, how do you feel about photo mode?
Playing them.
How do you feel about photo mode, Connor? How do you feel about that?
Photo mode? Well, I know the person who this angers the most will never hear this, so I'm going to say it. I don't care what I fucking spoil for you, you goddamn man babies. Get over it.
But yeah, I think
I'll post pictures of the final boss. I don't give a shit.
I think the first DLC dropped yesterday.
Yeah, it did. We're going to get to that eventually.
Yeah, no, but that's my next thing. I also got Soul Calibur 6, so that's also.
I have too much yeehaw. Don't follow me on social media. If you do, I'll know it.
That's right. He'll know.
Monster Mash comes out like next week.
Yeah, it comes out.
Oh,
Preview
wow.
episode with Connor should be coming out Sunday.
Yeah,
if I get my shit together.
I have someone doing the art right now, and she's taking her time. She's a very talented artist, so I don't want to like rush her. So like, the episode will still come out. You just might have placeover older art.
Yeah, we'll just
I'm
use
assuming,
the on the page.
I am assuming that the picture of Monster S sent was adequate then.
I think so. I showed her the picture, and she was all about it. So
okay, good.
All I can think about is that we tried to do an episode with me, and my choice was so terrible.
It wasn't. Don't say that.
It's fine.
Although I'm not saying you weren't terrible. I will say that.
No. I chose a bad movie because the movie isn't either good enough or bad enough.
Well, also.
Or monstery enough.
Also, there's nothing to talk about.
Dragons are kind of boring. Unless they're
the only thing to talk about is Matthew McConaughey. I would rather talk about him as the monster.
Yeah.
Because he's goddamn awesome.
He's amazing in that movie.
He's great. Anyways, yeah.
Monster Mash. Check that out. That's it for me.
Yeah, check that out. That's happening with me and Hunter and a lot of the people that are on the show regularly.
Yeah.
And, some new people eventually.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. Yeah.
And so I'm Lou Gonzalez. You can listen to me and Alan, who we've talked about, rewatch Smallville. So we are right into season 2. So you can check out. We watched.
I can't believe you're at season 2 already.
I can't believe that this is still happening.
So we did the Aquaman pilot in between, and then
that was a really good episode, by the way. I don't know if I said this.
Oh, really? Thank you.
Episode.
It is. That show, that pilot was so middle of the road.
That's the worst it can be.
It was.
This pilot was average.
But your description of it was great. You guys really broke it down.
It's hard to it's a show that's like, oh, I can see this being a show, but it's way too expensive for the CW / Warner Brothers, like WB at the time. Which is hilarious.
I was describing the movie Jigsaw to Joe because he hasn't seen it yet. And he's like, just tell me about it real quick. And I kind of ran it down. I was like, it's fine. It's not bad. It's not great. He's like, that's actually the worst thing you could possibly say about it is that it just exists.
I was hoping for it to be a pile of trash garbage, and then I was like, "Oh, this is okay." And then I was like,
"Yeah," and that's how I felt with Jigsaw. I'm like, "This isn't even good enough to love, but it's not bad enough to hate."
That's why I was like, when we talked about like the Aquaman movie, I was like, I feel like these plots are going to be really close. Like, there's going to be a lot of similar stuff. And what's hilarious is Adrian Pilecki is going to be star of S.H.I.E.L.D., star of the Orwell, star of the Aquaman pilot, star of the Wonder Woman pilot.
Yeah.
Also in
she's got a fucking touch of death.
And she's in Supernatural. Hunter knows how that turned out.
Yeah, I'll get back to that show eventually.
I think we're going to watch the Wonder Woman pilot after season 2.
Oh, my.
Why are you so committed to this?
Because they take this seriously.
Because as weird as the show is, watching it, you're like, oh, I see why the CW shows are the way they are. And actually, I think if you watch Smallville, you can understand why the last 2 seasons of Supergirl really don't work.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I know it's fun to make fun of the fact that you guys are doing this, but at the same time, I do feel that Smallville is like the progenitor to all.
Oh, it's the Godfather. It's the Godfather of the modern comic TV show.
Even I can admit that because like it had a fucking Green Arrow, a Flash, a Superman, and several other people like on screen.
It had a Black Canary, Aquaman, Green Arrow, Cyborg.
And even the way that they format their seasons, like
it's the same place they film. It's the same crews they film with. It's the same special effects that they still use on the Flash and Supergirl.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so the last episode we just did involved the first time we see red kryptonite on TV. And it is I'm trying to think. No, 2 episodes, not this last week, but the episode before that, I will just say was the horniest episode of TV I've ever watched.
I remember that season, so yeah.
Yes, so it is episode 2 of season 2 where he gets heat vision, and it is literally just all cleavage shots.
Because there's a whole episode where you see him just like banging out with random girls, right? That's the thing that happened in that show. So
yes, between that and the Red Kryptonite episode, it's just like him being horny.
Yeah,
because you have to remember there's supposed to be like 16 in the show,
right?
And they're always all the girls are just in their bras all the time.
Yep.
Got to sell that sex.
Yep. And then me, Alan, and Gary have another show that's coming out soon for Los Haro.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Los Haro.
Meanwhile, Shadow Zone still isn't happening yet.
Hey, I'm ready and willing to do episodes whenever.
I know. Here's the thing, everybody. It's still all my fault, so please don't look at anybody else. It's still all
to be fair, we have a lot of fucking TV to cover.
Right now. There's stuff happening that's really preventing this show from becoming a solid reality. Right. But and I know October's almost over, and this probably would have been a great month to do it. Except Daredevil came back, and Black Lightning came back, and Flash came back, and Supergirl came back, and Arrow came back.
And we still have news, and we have movie specials that we still haven't done.
Yeah, so once I'm feeling perfect about it, it'll happen. I swear. I can't change it for 3 years and then just say whoops.
There's going to be a month coming up probably where we're very light and where you don't have Dumpster. I'm going to force you to record 5.
Oh, no, that's happening. It's happening during the break for Movie Dumpster, okay? So anybody who's listening to this who is ever interested in that show who might have given up hope, please don't.
I have a news story we could talk about too. That just
I have a couple things sitting on the tip of my tongue that we can use. So, yeah, that's that. I think that's everybody's plugs, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Bye. Swamp Thing is a bad movie.
I am the Abominable Snowman.
Everybody go see Overlord when it comes out. Bye.
I really need you.